p.m. Thank you. We are welcome to the Regional Corporate Services Committee meeting on my agenda. It's the French spelling. We are bilingual here. Welcome to the Regional Corporate Services Committee open agenda meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First item, please.
Thank you, Chair Lum. Looking for approval of the agenda, and late items.
So moved.
It's moved by Director Facio, seconded by Director Popov. Any questions, changes, additions to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any, the item carries. Next item.
3.1, we have the draft Regional and Corporate Services Committee meeting minutes of May 12th, 2022.
Thank you. That is moved by Director Horn, seconded by Director Dickey. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any, the item carries. Next item.
Item 4.1 is the Fraser Valley Regional District Hope and District Recreation Center fees and other charges amendment bylaw number 1666. There's a motion for your consideration.
Thank you. That is moved by Director Pranger, seconded by Director Stobart. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor. Opposed, if any, the item carries. Next item.
Item 5.1.1 is announcement of the Local Government Climate Action Program. It's an information item, but I know staff would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Questions on this item? So this is the replacement program for CAREP. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, please.
Yeah, go ahead, Director Pranger.
Is this an amount that may be used, saved from year to year for a specific project if we had such a one in mind?
Kinnaman.
I see Lance Lilly has put his camera on, so we'll just have him answer that question.
You bet. Good morning, all. Through the chair to Director Pranger. This is an amount who was just announced like 2 weeks ago or so, and details are still coming out about specific requirements for the grant. It does look like this is the amount that we will be receiving each year. So for at least the next 3 years.
Thank you, Mr. Lilly. Any other questions? Don't hear any. Next item.
Next is 5.1.2, the 2021 Air Quality Management Plan Community Excellence Award nomination. There's a motion for your consideration.
So moved.
Thank you. That's moved by Director Facio, seconded by Director Blue. Discussion.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Director Facio.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chairman, to staff. Going through the list, a great program, going through the list of the schools here, how would the Harrison Elementary, and also we do have a Christian school in Agassiz as well. See that Kent has already been contacted. How would they be contacted? Because this is a great program. The children should see this in all the schools.
Thank you, Director Facio. Perhaps Lance could give us a little more information on how interested schools could participate.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to. There's been great interest in this from across the region, and typically, like, we have contractors and we have these skilled team of educators that go around to the schools. It's through, they either reach out to us, but we also been contacting each of the schools, and it doesn't always fit their curriculum and their timing and all that. But we have a budget that limits it to approximately 40 schools per year. However, if there's interest in a school, they can reach out to myself or the contractors. Myself would be the easiest one, or anybody here at the FERD Environmental Services team. We can put them in touch with scheduling with the contractors.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lilly. Any other questions? I don't see any, so call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any, item carries. Next item.
5.2.1 is Indigenous Land Acknowledgements. There's a motion for your consideration.
Thank you. It's moved by Director Stobart, seconded by Director Popov. Discussion.
Yes, please.
Director Horn, go ahead.
Just, I guess, two questions through you, Chair Lum, to staff. The first is, I'm not quite clear as to how we are to determine from sort of the three options in terms of naming the larger territory versus specific Indigenous nations or language speaking areas. So I'll pause and let that question be answered and then ask my second one.
Ms. Kinnaman.
Sure. I see David Urban has put his camera on, so perhaps we can turn the question over to him.
Mr. Urban.
Thank you. Through the chair to Director Horn. Good question. That one, it's the scalability of the situation that you're in. So if you're dealing with a matter that is regional in scale, you'd go broader and incorporate the larger organizations. If you're working one-on-one with a band in your community, then you could reference the First Nation of that community only.
Thank you. So my second question is, and I think it's part of the first one, we're essentially going to need staff's guidance in some cases in terms of which option to take. And in terms of the third part, which is the new part for me, I'm not as clear on how is the recommendation here that all work should somehow be connected to reconciliation. I'm not sure that that's always going to be possible. So perhaps we can get some clarity on that one. And I'll mute now that I've asked my questions. Thank you.
Ms. Kinnaman.
Sure, I'll start and then perhaps David can jump in. I think that the real intention and the recommendation from staff is for members of the board and FVRD staff members to really consider each situation that they're in and make an acknowledgement meaningful. One of the things that was noted in the report is that over time, as these acknowledgements become more commonplace, they start to go down the line of a tick box exercise and perhaps people stop listening. And so what the recommendation is to consider the context of the work that you're doing and make the commentary relevant to the work that you're doing. I don't know, David, if you wanted to add to that.
Thank you, Jennifer. I think you've summed it up well. Your comment of making it relevant to the situation is just that. And your comment, Director Horn, of needing some guidance, of course, that's what we're here for. We want to support you and guide forward on situations that may arise where we're all going to learn together through this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? This is a very good report. I appreciate it. I appreciate kind of the context which is brought forward. So very good. I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Item carries. Next item.
5.3.1, we have statutory referral, formal acceptance of Metro 2050, Metro Vancouver Regional Growth Strategy.
Thank you. That is moved by Director Horn, seconded by Director Popov. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Item carries. Next item.
Moving down to item 8, reports by directors.
Thank you. Directors, would be your opportunity. Director Facio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick update that the 18th and 19th, which is a weekend after this one, is the return of the Sasquatch Days in Harrison. It's a 2-day event with Stahelis and other nations, even as far as from Bellingham and further afield will be at the beach with their canoe races, cultural events, drum making, and of course the famous barbecue of bannock that's cooked on the beach. So it's the first event of the year. It's great to be that things are moving again and getting people out. So you're all invited. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Facio. Any other reports? I see Director Horn.
Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge that myself and Director Stobart and Davidson, along with Ms. Kinnaman, had an opportunity to sit down and talk about some of the interregional issues around the Dudhney-Alouette Improvement District and the drainage issues we've had around Hatzick Lake, and subsequently had another meeting with the Dade members of the Dade board. And I know that Director Stobart and Davidson will be attending a meeting this coming Monday, I believe, with that group. And just we'll keep everybody up to date. But I think the opportunity to renew some conversations with that group and come up with some solutions is starting to open up again. I think it will be very important given what we're hearing about further atmospheric rivers and so forth being more common moving forward, and the concerns we're having right now with flooding.
Thank you, Director Horn, for your work on that. Any other reports from board directors? Don't see any. Next item.
Moving to public question period for items relevant to the agenda. We'll just ask Jamie Van Ness to see if we have anybody online.
So we don't have anybody joining us in the boardroom. We have not received any questions by email, and we do not have any members of the public joining us by Zoom today.
Thank you, Ms. Van Ness. Next item.
Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Okay, it's moved by Director Fascio, second by Director Popov. All in favor, opposed, if any item carries, we are adjourned.
I think you might have just won the world record there, Caroline. Your trophy's in the mail.